Welcome to the Security Warehouse video review of the Honeywell Optima Gen 4 Compact. It's the smallest panel that Honeywell currently do. So it starts off with the Compact, moving up to the Centers, Center Mini, same case enclosure, obviously with no onboard keyboard. Onto the larger plastic case, the poly version, and then onto the metal version. But anyway, here we have the Optima version. This is the plain case version. They do another packaging version with a pretty cardboard sleeve around it. Obviously, if we open the first part of the case, you see we have the full engineering manual and a user manual. Modern trend, I suppose, is to not include an engineering manual with the actual panel itself, but Honeywell still do on the smaller ranges. And here we have the panel itself. As we can see, it's a small unit. It's an LED based panel, onboard keyboard. This is backlit. We'll power it up in a bit so we can have a look at that. Obviously the cover, see, it is small, so it's ideal as a low-end installation to put in a hallway. It's quite reasonably sized. If we open it up, it has a two-piece cover, which is different from most panels, but allows the circuit board to stay relatively covered once the service hatch is opened. Obviously we have a set of battery leads here. If I just temporarily remove this, we can see that we have a speaker, internal speaker connected to the cover. Most systems have a rear facing speaker. This actually obviously puts it on the front, advantage being slightly increased noise. It's a 32 ohm speaker, but obviously it is a smaller size, it's not as loud as 16 ohm. We have the keyboard itself, which is rubber construction. It does come off. There are you can see the LEDs are actually behind it doing the illumination. Similar setup as the Optimas have had for years from the XM. Obviously the XL started backlit. So we've got a spring tamper switch, which is obviously on the second cover, covering the wiring. On the connection front, we have the mains incoming block. See the transformer, mains block is actually fused. We've got the battery connections, obviously, which were supplied. We'll go into there. We have a battery fuse, a bell and strobe output fuse, the main 12 volt and speaker fuse, and this fuse is for the keypads. If we have a look at the connectors, we've obviously got a set output there. We've got the block of fours, the bell connections, strobe connector. The internal speaker connector, obviously as standard, this is connected to the 32 ohm. The panel will actually drive up to two 16 ohms in parallel off that. We've got the main 12 volt output connector for powering detectors, any of the 12 volt devices on the system. A global tamper circuit. An unusual feature on the bottom end panel is a dedicated PA zone. Obviously most panels these days use a circuit and program it as a PA. Obviously this has the advantage of having a dedicated indicator for the PA circuit, and it doesn't take up a zone from the system. We have our 8 double pole circuits. I've actually linked these out to aid the review. On the left here we have the keypad connectors. The Optima will accept up to 4 keypads, simple set readers, etc., any combination of, but up to 4. It will take obviously LED keypads, but it will importantly take LCD keypads. So all the features that are available on the Optima, on the Centers, with regards to text descriptors, time and date stamping on the log, etc., would be available once we put an LCD keypad on. As you can see, the connections here are missing on the Compact. They're only available on the bigger panels on the Center and up. We've also got our 8 indicators for our zones. We've then got a power LED around the corner here. We've got the attack and tamper LEDs, and then we've got the green daylight to show current armed status. onto tamper switch. What I'll do now is just put this back on, and then we'll power it up and see how it operates. Right, okay then, we're powered up. We currently have obviously the power indicator on. We've got the tamper indicator flashing to show that's what caused the alarm. Obviously I can't reset that at the moment because it's still in fault. As soon as I clear the fault, obviously green light will come back on to show that it's disarmed. I'll now put it to engineers by pressing program with the default engineer code, which is 9999. We can now cause a tamper fault without causing an alarm. And obviously now if we have a look at the unit, we can see that we're quite tight on space. We have excellent cable entries, various cable entries all over the unit. From the back, obviously these are actually cutouts across the top and the side, and obviously most people, you bring the cables in from behind. This is this area here is for the battery. Now you are, due to the constraints of the panel, we are limited to a 2.1, 2.3 amp hour battery there. So of course that would normally be filled with battery. That would then only leave this space here for cable and connections, etc. Your mains incoming point would be through there into your block, obviously out to your fuse spur. But so you do need to remember we are very tight on space in there. It is quite common that people will take the excess cable up behind the board. Care needs to be taken on that because obviously the back of the board is exposed and you can end up causing a fault. Obviously neatness is the key in this area. If we have a run through the features of the panel, from an ease of use point of view, the Optima is fairly easy to program, very easy to program. Obviously there's not too many options on it. It's the manual that comes with is a generic manual for all of the Ascenta Optima range, so they all operate and program the same. Obviously the LED versions have less of a display option, which can limit the programming and make it hard on the programming because it's not as obvious as it would be with the LCD. Because obviously the LCD is plain text. If we go through, we'll go through the manual now. Obviously it details the ranges, the options available with the Optima range, the Optima Ascenta. Obviously we have the Ascenta Gen 4 Mini, which is in the same case, but obviously without the keypad and the display. The Optima Compact, which we have here. We then do the metal version, which is a larger case version of the Ascenta. There is also a larger plastic case version, which will take the 7 amp hour battery. There's a lot more room for cabling in it. Obviously there's the two keypads, there's the LED version and the LCD keypad. All of the Optimas and the Ascentas will all take the same keypads, so whether we put an LCD or an LED keypad on it, a mix of that, or a simple set tag reader, obviously that option is available to us. Going through the manual, we obviously have a brief list of its headline features. Obviously it's got 8 zones. For security it says 2 available for programming, dedicated PA input, dedicated tamper, outputs for obviously the external siren and the strobe, 4 user codes, so you've got 2 user codes, an engineer code and a duress code. Now duress code isn't available on the compact, so obviously you've got no output to trigger to signal it. 3 fully programmable part set options, chime option on any circuit, on any security circuit, not on the fires obviously. 250 event memory, or with the LED version only, you can only get 8 of those. So obviously you cannot display the timestamp with an LED keypad. All the times are programmable. Walk test facilities we'll come on to in a minute because it's an unusual panel. Something new with the Gen 4 is something called one-man test. What it allows us to do is when we're walk testing the system, it latches the display so we can see what we've tested when we get back to the display. Obviously it'll take up to 4 keypads on conventional normal 6-core alarm cable, any wiring configuration, star, daisy chain, etc.